Hi everybody, I'm Andy Murray from WhatCulture Wrestling.
Hey guys, I'm Jules, also from WhatCulture Wrestling, and on today's news story show, we've got...
What are you doing?
It's your go, isn't it?
No, it's your
Oh, it's me. Stone Cold Steve Austin may be returning to Raw.
We have an exclusive new detail on Jon Moxley's contract with AEW.
Who is Maria Kanellis' baby daddy? The WWE doesn't know, but we don't know either.
Yeah, but we're going to attempt to answer that on a video later today as well, but we'll have a small update in this video too. So,
We will indeed.
It's been a while since we've done a video together, Jules. Do we still have a jingle?
Honestly, when I knew that I was working with you today, I shaved my head, I took my hat off, and I was just like, it's like, you know, the Mojo Rawley man in the mirror thing, that's me and you, but we're better than him, infinitely so.
Sexier too.
But the only thing is, I'm feeling a bit nervous about doing this, because I haven't done a news thing with you in a while, so do you mind if we just hit that jingle for all time?
Shall we hit it?
Come on, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Oh God.
That felt good.
You know what? That's like a waxing of the back, sack and crack for the soul, that is, hearing that.
Anyway, let's talk about the news.
Sure thing.
WWE versus AEW, the new wrestling war, the biggest headline maker of 2019 so far, and there have been a lot of crazy headlines in 2019 so far. So, obviously, WWE, their first major step to try and counter AEW is coming up next weekend when they will feature an Evolve event on the WWE Network at the same time as Fight for the Fallen. However, it looks like they have something big up their sleeves for the All Out pay-per-view, which takes place on August 31st as well. This is according to Shiggity Shagger Dave, our good old swole uncle wrestling man.
Yeah.
In today's Figure 4 Online Wrestling Observer Daily Update.
Is it as pedantic and pathetic as their other moves?
Well, we can speculate on that in just a second. Basically, it came as a result of Booker T pulling out of StarCast. According to Dave here, when Booker T pulled out of StarCast, it came as a result of him finding that the WWE versus AEW war was, and I quote, very real, and deciding that he didn't want to be part of it. And at the end of this, Dave says, I've been told to expect another major counter by WWE shortly regarding AEW. So, what on earth do you think they could possibly do? Because the interesting thing about this is there's an NXT UK takeover the same night, which is at a different time and probably isn't a big enough show to threaten.
No.
But there's no, like, the main roster pay-per-view is SummerSlam, it's on August 11th, and there's a takeover on August 10th, so it'd be very hard to set up a counter show, but...
Well, I mean, the thing is, we know that these events like StarCast, they take a lot of time to sort of organise and get together, so it wouldn't ever be something of that scale, maybe. But then again, the WWE does have that clout to just sort of like step in and say, we're doing this show on this date and make it happen. Unfortunately, though, they potentially don't research their dates and what's really going on very well, hence the debacle that we had with the Royal Quest and also their NXT UK show. No offence to any of the NXT UK performers, but I'm just saying, a lot of people are going to be going to New Japan stuff instead. Yeah,
that was already kind of like halfway sold out by the time they had some tickets. The interesting thing about this is I don't think AEW will be sweating too much because All Out sold out in something like 15 minutes. Let's secure they're safe. So whatever WWE will do, will have to try and pull viewers rather than attendees away. I'm kind of interested. I hope it's as petty and as silly and as childish as possible because that is a lot of fun. Speaking of fun.
Well, I was just going to say that AEW doesn't even need to worry about it right now because at the end of the day, they've already got so many other things, so many other balls juggling in the air and plates to spin that they probably just have to focus on getting their shows to be the perfect quality that they need it to be. But still, moving on from one gossip rag column to another, it turns out that, again, in the Wrestling Observer, that good old and bold fellow Boldy,
legend,
Stone Cold Steve Austin, also known as Stone Bold Steve Austin, the Boldonic redneck.
Jesus Christ.
What else is there?
The Rattlebolt.
The Slapple Snake. There it is. He may be returning to Raw, but don't get your hopes up just yet because he might be doing it not in the way that we want him to, aka smashing glass, kicking ass, taking names, drinking beers. He probably won't be doing much of that, but he does have a show that he needs to prop up because on ABC he's doing a show called Straight Up Steve, which sounds like something that his proctologist probably said to his mates down the bar who came in there. Straight Up Steve, it went.
All right, Steve.
All right, Steve. All right. Yeah, so basically he's got a show in which he sits down and interviews other celebrities that are in the WWE and the wrestling industry so that he can sort of do that. And, you know, he's a fantastic host. I mean, you need only look at his podcast to see how well he does in the company of others. But one of the guests on this show is the red-hot superstar that is Becky Lynch.
Makes all the sense in the world to me.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch, her man phase has been has been continually linked and compared to Stone Cold Steve Austin. So for me, makes all the sense in the world.
Almost like it's not even been tried to disguise that they are trying to make the new sort of Stone Cold. And why shouldn't they? He was a massive draw in his time, and he even said as such to that poor old interviewer, didn't he? That I used to draw, I made money.
I drew money. This is cool stuff.
But they're saying that he could return to the ring on Raw because his show is going to be straight up Steve. It's going to be airing straight after Raw, and they're thinking that he might return to do a sort of promo or set up a feud between Becky Lynch and someone else. It wouldn't be clear if he would go in there and just say like, "I'm gonna whoop your ass" to her, because I feel like still the intergender stuff isn't really taking off as dramatically as that. Plus, his own personal backstory may also
not
a good thing to go with
close
there.
to the bone there. Yeah, no, really good stuff. I'd love to see a confrontation between Steve Austin and Becky Lynch. We've seen her with Edge, John Cena, a bunch of other legends. It's always good stuff. It makes a lot of sense, particularly in the build-up to WrestleMania when she was doing all that anti-authority stuff, kicking against the oppressive bosses who are trying to take her opportunities away. The parallels are all there. I think it would be a really good way to give Becky Lynch some juice.
But the question is, and I know a lot of people are going to be asking this, would you want to see Stone Cold in another match?
Absolutely not.
Well, that's the thing, because no offense to the guy, he's still in fantastic shape, but he has been the most respectful to his body since leaving the WWE. In that he's gone, this is it, my time in the ring was done, I made a bloody good go of it, and I'm just going to step away. Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, anyone else who steps back in there probably could learn a lesson from that.
Yeah, no, they absolutely could. Lord knows what kind of condition Steve Austin's knees and neck are in. He obviously had well-documented problems throughout his career. I just don't want to see it. I want him to leave the memories alone. He hasn't wrestled in, 17 years, 16 years?
Yep.
It's just, man, just stay retired. If the Saudi Arabian big dollars come, just... No.
Well, the thing is as well, it's he's been out for that long, and yet I still think of him as an absolute badass. I don't think that about The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and company now, because they keep coming back and proving that they are getting old.
Remember when Shawn Michaels wrestled and Kane's wig fell off?
I don't want to. I don't want to remember that because that sounds like a bloody soap opera.
Kane's wig fell off.
Kane's wig
was great.
Oh, God's sake!
Shall we move on?
Please do.
Let's talk a little bit about Jon Moxley.
Okay.
Obviously, one of the hottest things in wrestling at the moment. Caused quite the buzz when he debuted at Double or Nothing. He battered Chris Jericho, almost called him Chrissy Omega, and then he battered Kenny Omega as well. Chris Omega, what am I doing? Threw him off the top of that massive pile of poker chips. They're going to wrestle it all out. They had that brawl at Fyter Fest. After Double or Nothing, it was announced that Moxley had signed a 3-year deal with AEW. Now,
fantastic.
Got a new report from Raja.com. One source, pinch of salt, obviously, who claim that on his AEW contract, Jon Moxley has an opt-out clause stating that if he's not happy how things are going, after 1 year, he can bounce. So, conspiracy theorists are obviously going to be all over this.
Well, Adam Wilborn's already saying he's going back to the WWE straight away, that he's going to go.
He's probably sitting there preparing for his wedding, chuckling away, because it's at work. It's not at work, obviously. Personally, I think this makes a lot of sense from Moxley's standpoint. He was very unhappy in WWE. He obviously doesn't want to risk that happening again. So if he gets a situation 6 months down the road and he's not pleased with how things are going in AEW and he doesn't want to be tied to a 3-year deal, he can just do his own thing and get out of there.
It also makes sense from AEW's perspective because of the fact that if they end up in that horrible, and I hope it doesn't happen, WCW idea where they're paying people tons and tons of money but they don't have enough coming in, but they don't know how to sort of do it because they've locked themselves into horrible contracts, this at least buys them some wiggle room as well. Although if I was Moxley in that case and the company was going under, I'd milk it for everything they were bloody
get that money, brother. Get that money, brother. Scrooge McDuggan.
Yeah, so I mean, fantastic. I think that's just smart. I think
smart
that
stuff.
More contracts need to have that written in place. But speaking of people who have just signed lengthy contracts you probably weren't expecting it, and also people who absolutely shagged each other, Maria Kanellis, she's up the duff. So she's having another kid. That's not actually the news story. What is the crazy thing is that her and her partner Mike Kanellis, they've signed year-long deals for $500,000.
5 years, baby.
5 years. 5 years. So they are going to be making absolute bank. And this came as a surprise to so many people after the back and forth and the rigmarole of them being like, oh, we're not happy here. Get us out. And the WWE is just like, here's $1 million, stay us.
Yeah, shut up.
And also, now you're in an angle now where you're pregnant, and we don't know who the baby daddy is, which I said, as we said before, we're going to be talking about later on, speculating who it might be. But the WWE didn't actually know that she was pregnant for reals when they put her into this storyline in which she is pregnant. How
How
mad is that? So they basically got them to sign on the dot and be like, and they probably sign and they're going like, thank you very much, that's $500,000 each. By the way, I'm pregnant, so I might be off again for quite a lengthy stint. And the WWE's sitting there just going like, oh, well, that's interesting.
Hey.
But yeah, they didn't know that she was pregnant before they started a storyline stating that she was pregnant. How did they think that that was going to go? And yes, I know that they knew that Mike and Maria wanted to try for another kid, but still, that's putting a lot of pressure on them.
It's absolutely mental. And the thing I love about this is that, like, if she did indeed find out that she was pregnant before they signed the deals, they were probably just like, oh, cool, well, let's get 5 years worth of pay out of this while we're starting a family, which is almost exactly what they did when they signed. Soon after they signed the other year, Maria was pregnant. And it was a lovely coincidence. What a couple of workers, what a couple of legends.
The funny thing is as well is that if the WWE didn't know what it is and now they've got the baby from the angle that they didn't know that she was going to have a baby, they've effectively bought a baby.
Yeah. Wow.
The WWE bought a baby. There's your headline.
Ordered it online, didn't
Ordered
they?
it online, yeah. Well, there we go.
Delivered via Maria Kanellis. Anyway, we're not going to dive too deeply on that one just now. We will save that for later. For now, we are going to get to your Twitter questions.
Ooh.
So the first one today comes from Chris. Just Chris. He asks, do you think WWE should reduce the amount of pay-per-views they air every year? And if so, how many should they air? Personally, I'd say about 6.
Well, they had a stint where they were running one. They run one every month, don't they?
They do.
That's a lot of wrestling. Added on top of the daily program. Would I want to see less but higher quality? Of course I would, because it means that I wouldn't have to stay up with these guys until 4 o'clock in the morning.
Every bloody month.
Yeah, but at the same time, you'd have to really start doubling down on the show storylines more to make people care, because pay-per-views exist literally just to bump up the revenue, don't they? Just be like, hey, look, they're finally going to resolve this thing. And a lot of people do get bored very quickly, so I don't know if it would be a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, to me, there is an oversaturation problem. The volume of like identical pay-per-views is an issue and it's kind of boring. I think there are 2 solutions to this. Number 1, you cut down the amount of pay-per-views. You have one every 2 months or whatever.
Yep.
But then you have a problem. Wrestlers are going to get on these cards with less frequency because there are less shows. So that's an issue.
Yeah.
Another solution might just be more sparing use of wrestlers. Why does Baron Corbin need a match at every pay-per-view? Why does Lacey Evans? Why does even like one of the world champions? Why does Seth Rollins need a match every one? Rotate people in and out. Try and use a full cast of characters across this mad 12-month schedule. Either way, something should be done. I would like to know your suggestions as well.
Yeah, that's an interesting
in the comment section. That's our take.
Good question.
Hit us with your take. And the next one comes from Bellicose Lugosi Bat Pope. Really good. Question. Obviously, yesterday was the 4th of July in America.
Yes, it was.
Who is the most patriotic American wrestler? A. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. B. Mr. America Hulk Hogan. C. Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. D. Jack Swagger. Or E. That great wrestler, Donald Trump.
It's definitely none of those, because if you've seen the SummerSlam adverts where Viscera storms his way through to get that last hot dog with all the passion, he's not actually thinking about that hot dog, he's thinking about America.
I think it might be Viscera as well.
Yeah,
the world's largest red, white and blue machine.
Honestly, he's amazing. Also, we had that thing, didn't Mark Henry wear an American flag outfit for a while?
He was very American, Mark Henry.
Yeah, he's pretty patriotic. He was pretty cool. He represented a lot of the ideals of America, like, strength, he was like power, like, yeah.
I've got a left turn for you here.
Oh, here we go.
Remember when Rusev was United States champion and he was doing this thing where all these patriotic Americans would stand up to him? He got Jack Swagger, he got John Cena. At one point he got Big E, which was a bit random.
Oh, right.
How about that great American hero that stood up to the foreign menace, the evil heel from foreign lands, Sheamus? There we go. What a great storyline that was.
The most patriotic man in the world, an Irish dude named Sheamus.
It's a shameful thing, lobster head.
Oh, I like Sheamus.
I love Sheamus.
When's he coming back? Do we know?
He's been cleared to compete, so hopefully very soon. Next question from George. Just George as well. We're getting a lot of single names today. Asks if you could move one wrestler from AEW to WWE and vice versa, so one in each way, who would you move?
Well, it's got to be.
I tell you what, I'll do this from the point of view of how it would benefit the company they're going to, rather than the wrestler or the problems they'd create leaving behind. I think as far as AEW to WWE go, the most WWE guy in AEW is MJF. Throw him in WWE.
Yeah.
I'm amazed they didn't already sign him before AEW did. He's an incredible heel, incredible character, still learning his trade in the ring, but he's going to be perhaps the most effective heel in the business very, very soon. As far as the opposite direction goes, You know, that's kind of a hard question because what do you want? Do you want just great wrestlers or do you want three-dimensional, all-round performers? I'm going to cheat and go for Andrade and Zelina Vega. I think together they are a tremendous sports entertainment act as well as a great wrestling act, and it would be great.
I mean, the thing is that it's hard to imagine people going from AEW to the WWE because they've made such a staunch departure from it, saying that they never want to work with that in-ring style. So I would actually argue from AEW to WWE, no one. And I know that sounds like a cop-out. They've chosen to be there. This is the burgeoning product, and I think it makes perfect sense. But if it was the other way around, I don't know. Do you know what the AEW is potentially missing? Is one of those sort of all-round acts who's very, very good on like comedic sides of stuff as well. Because I know that like comedic wrestling probably doesn't have a place in AEW, but I feel like maybe they don't have stuff like that. I just put R-Truth there just because I feel like because I'd like to just see him just show up with the 24/7 title and just be like, where am I? Like I just think that'd be fun.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to our finally today, and it's a real quick one. On Twitter, Kofi Kingston. You know Kofi Kingston's got kind of a weird chest, right? It's kind of like concave almost. There's not a lot of muscle.
Yeah, he actually has like a problem, doesn't he?
Like a big gap. Well. Twitter user ML19DY76, that's not very catchy, sort that out, asked good old Kofi the other day, what caused that problem? What's wrong with your chest, brother?
Yeah.
And he replied saying, "The Big Show chopped me in the chest in 2009 and it hasn't been the same since."
I like that he's playing into that because I think that I read into it and it was like he's got some sort of muscle wastage thing there.
Some kind of condition thing.
Yeah, but he's completely fine. Like he's completely healthy. I mean, it's just an appearance thing, aesthetical thing.
I love the idea of Big Show slapping the muscle out of his chest.
Also a big bold man.
Yeah.
Also, and that's the thing.
Another bold legend.
People don't respect the power of the boldies. Kane, bold, without his wig.
Abdullah the Butcher.
Bold. And
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yes, bold.
Gilbert.
You're just I hate that my surname is part of that.
The
Gilbert.
Headbangers. Jules Gilbert.
No.
Wow. Have we not thought of that before?
I'm annoyed that I've given it to you.
Shall we wrap this thing
Let's
up?
wrap this up before anyone notices too much. Yes, Andy and I will be back a little bit later on today to talk about who is Maria Kanellis' baby daddy. It's as spurious and as dirt rag as you can imagine it being. So tune in for that.
You can follow us at WhatCulture WWE. Send us all your Twitter questions. We will be back on Monday. We're all heading down south for Adam Wilborn's wedding. It's going to be very, very fun. But we're back on Monday. We'll get to you then.
In fact, write R.I.P. Adam Wilborn because that's the end of his freedom. He's not coming out ever again. He'll be at work from 9 till 5 and then he'll be home, locked down.
Lock and key, baby. You can follow Jules Gill at
Retro J with a 0.
You can follow me at Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Happy Weekend.
Oh, that was nice.
That was fair. I'm a nice guy, man.
I think it sounds for hellacious.
From me and Jules Gilberg. Bye-bye.
Damn it. Bye.